Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my irrational perspective on Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. Here we are again, a real sense of deja vu. I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible because I feel like I could repeat and rehash a lot of the stuff I said after West Ham and Everton. When Dan Gosling's goal went in with about 5 minutes to go, I think that not many people inside or out the ground, I think, could have been that surprised based on what happened in the game and based on what happened in that second half. A bitterly cold afternoon and a bitterly disappointing and poor result to go with it. Chelsea were never at the races today, pretty simply. I think our passing was so poor throughout the entirety of the game. There was a few times we got in behind, but very rarely did Chelsea ever look like that game was going to go in their favour or they were going to break down Bournemouth. And it's just another really poor result against a side like West Ham and like Everton, where we've come up against an opposition who are in bad form, low on confidence, especially with Bournemouth, a lack of big players. They've had a lot of injuries recently. And it feels like, if you're in that sort of state, you want to come to Stamford Bridge because Chelsea at the moment are just sliding in form. The winter curse might be striking once again for Chelsea. Hopefully not, but that's the way it looks at the moment. Chelsea really just passive, toothless. That's the worrying aspect for me. The defensive issues have been there all season and we've talked about them. For me, the worry in the last 2 or 3 games in the league is how aimless we've looked, especially if I think about that West Ham game especially, and the second half of the Everton game as well, and today. Chelsea looked to have no ideas of what we wanted to do in that second half. Very rarely did we break down Bournemouth. Yes, you can point to the Mason Mount chance in the first half. You can point to the Emerson header. He's got to score that. I don't know if that would have been gone to VAR and he would have been ruled out for offside. But really, Chelsea on the whole, it was so scrappy that game. Chelsea never got a foothold, never found a rhythm, never found their way past Bournemouth. And that second half, it just became so inevitable what was going to happen. Chelsea kept on getting hit on the counter by the pace. And that was usually down to Chelsea giving the ball away, just giving it straight to Bournemouth. I remember one chance, Willian just literally passing the ball to a Bournemouth player without any pressure. And that, I think, summarised really Chelsea's performance today. It was lacklustre. It was poor. There was a lack of, connection all round. People will inevitably look at players, right, and say it's this player's fault, it's that player's fault, certain mistakes on certain things. It was just collectively, once again, Chelsea didn't turn up really. For Frank Lampard, a lot of thinking once again to do, a lot of lessons to be learned as we get closer and closer to the January transfer window. I'm sure questions will be asked more and I'm sure that will play on the club's head. I just hope the club don't rush into anything drastic in the transfer window and go for players who are short-term options rather than long-term options. I hope the recruitment is still, smart and right for the long term, but that I'm sure will play on the minds of a lot of people. But yeah, overall, once again, Bournemouth, that's 3 times I think they've won at Stamford Bridge now since being promoted to the Premier League. So they're becoming a bit of a bogey team, aren't they? And we've got Spurs next week, which really, at the moment, on form, Chelsea don't look at the races and haven't performed well against fellow top 6 sides. But I think there's a lot of thinking and a lot of things for Frank and the team to look at, because Chelsea simply passing needs to be better, defending needs to be more aggressive. I think aggressive is something that decisive, whether it's Kepa coming out for the ball, whether it's defenders clearing it, whether it's the connection between midfield, defence and attack, of defending as a unit. There's a lot of issues, I think. There's been a really positive start, but maybe now we're starting to see that Eden Hazard departure start to rear its head. We thought, where was Chelsea going to suffer this season without Eden Hazard's magic? Maybe this is the period where we start to see it, or is it more collectively issues further than that? It's not just about one player. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.